Today is one of those days where it's really difficult to update you guys, you know, in the vlogs and the series, this and that, but I blew all my accounts. I'm ready to log in and show you guys. Literally, if we go to Top Step right now, you see there's nothing. If we go to accounts, you can see here, back to payout, back to funding, I mean, eligible, boom, all these accounts right here, blown today. Show close accounts, you can see that there, all of them, all my Express accounts are gone. And I don't want to blame it on anything. The camera's finna die. I'm finna go get a new battery right now. But the main thing that happened, I started gambling. So I took an L, took my first L, and then after that I couldn't walk away. And I didn't reach the $500 limit to, you know, lock my account and liquidate it. Same thing with the one trade a day. I didn't have that. I didn't activate them. I actually deactivated them. Especially the $500 one, because I was so close to reaching it. I moved my stop loss a little bit more, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make this loss back. So I deactivated everything off. I didn't have the one trade a day limit set, and then eventually, next thing you know, I'm over here gambling. I'm gambling, horrible setups, you know, over risking. First trade I took was this 1 minute IFG, which I'm gonna show you guys that right now. 1 minute IFG at around 9:30, and then the market stops me out. That's where my first trade went wrong, right there on YM, on the 5 minute time frame. And then eventually I took my final trade where I lost everything, and I doubled down the risk. So this loss, the first loss was 500. This loss was not that much. It was around 250. I closed the trade manually. I didn't let it reach that stop loss because, again, I saw the rejection weight coming down, and I was like, you know what, there's a better trade forming on NQ. So on NQ, on the 5 minute time frame, I saw this changing state of delivery. I really don't even want to record right now. So yeah, that was the final trade, and I blew everything. And I know so many people in the comments, or not even people in the comments, but people are just like, I swear, people are, I don't want to get started, but people are gonna say, you know, oh, what were you doing, you know, or your system, you need to change something, or you need to use this strategy, or you need, I know my system works. I've seen it day in and day out. It's not my system, it's not anything, it's just me. It was me pushing the button. It was me unable to walk away from a loss. It was me not being able to filter out the good setups and taking setups that aren't, you know, high probability. And it's just the dumb things like the P&L. So focused on like the payout. So many on things that I couldn't control, and I was just so focused on them. And the next, you know, I got humbled. You know, I was just being overconfident, thinking that, you know, I'm always gonna win. I'm never gonna lose. That's where you start losing everything, you know. And don't even want to record right now. I just want to walk away and not even talk about it, because I don't have to, you know. I don't have to. But I told myself for this LifeMaxing series, gonna be truly authentic, and then, you know, I'm also gonna just show, you know, like what happens, whatever happens, you know, as long as we're learning, developing, and growing, that's all that matters, you know. And I'm about to do my hindsight trade, but again, I got stripped, I got humbled. It's not about the money, bro. It's not about any of that. It's about the trades you're taking. It's about the quality. And again, bro, like I know I have the skill. It's just, do I have the mental fortitude to be able to accomplish those things? You know, like whenever I see my system not being presented, let me walk away. After I take an L and I didn't follow my system, let me walk away. You know, like, I need to learn how to walk away. I'm over here complicating this more than it should be. I'm over here focusing on the wrong things. I'm over here having the wrong mindset to it. You know, like, you can't have the wrong mindset to accomplish the right goal or a certain goal. You know, like, God will not let that happen. You know, he will take everything away from you. He will, you know, you can't have those certain thought patterns and expect to accomplish this. You know, you need to be focused. You need to have X, Y, and Z thought patterns to be able to accomplish this. I feel like that's what I've been lacking recently, is the internal reflection, pushing everything external. I'm trying to watch more videos. I'm trying to watch ICT, learn more of this and that, watch you know, other traders learn, blah blah blah, you know. But it's an internal reflection, and that's what I've realized whenever I was getting those payouts, was I was reflecting internally majority of the time to grow. I knew I had a system, I knew it worked, I knew this and that. I wasn't, you know, focusing so much on the charts. You know, I would wake up and show up that day and trade, and then if I lost, I lost. If I won, I won. Walk away. If I hit break even, I walked away. I followed my system, and I wouldn't care. I wouldn't review as much. I would just review on the weekends, and that's it. And then boom, next thing you know, I was getting payouts. I was being consistent. I was following my rules. I was following my game plan. I didn't really set so much expectation to get payouts or pass accounts or do this and that. You know, I was over here enjoying every single moment. I was spending time with my girlfriend. You know, I was enjoying life. And as of recently, bro, like, I just been so focused on the wrong things, you know. Like, I've been so focused on, I have to make this amount, I have to do this, I have to do that, you know, and I have to see this and I have to do this, you know. And it's just like, I just have to like slow down, take a deep breath, reflect, analyze where's the trajectory of my decisions, my thought patterns, my mindset, my beliefs, you know. I still have the self-belief that I can accomplish, you know, all these goals. I believe I can make 100K in 1 year. I believe I can do all these things, you know, but my actions my thought patterns and my habits are what's gonna lead me to that. You know, I can't focus so much on, you know, making 10K a month. I can't focus on, we'll have to make 7R this month, this and that, because then that leads to the wrong, that leads to the wrong thought patterns, and that leads to the wrong actions. All I can do is control this and that. And I got humbled today. I got humbled very, very hardly, because again, I was just so focused on the wrong things. You know, as a trader, I want you guys to focus on your internal very, very, very heavily, because the charts will reflect. You know, if you're greedy, if you're impatient like I was, you will get stripped away. Doesn't matter how many payouts you have, it doesn't matter how much of a skill you have. You know, like, the markets will humble you, God will humble you. If you don't get humbled right now, next month, this week, this year, it will come. It will come. So you have to humble yourself. Put your head down, bro, and know that you're not better than the market. You're not better than anybody if you're unable to like really reflect inward and control yourself. And another little key detail, little data set I want to finish off this little part, this segment right now in the morning session, is I was way too attached. I was way too attached to the P&L, to the accounts, to my status, and now I'm just having an ego death, you know, just letting go of everything. After losing today and realizing that I am not the best trader in the world, realizing also, reflecting, I'm an imperfect human being, and these charts were controlling my emotions and thoughts that I never thought they would be able to. After journaling and realizing, you know, I have so much more improvement to do, especially inward, internally. There's so much I have to work on. And that's what the next video or theme for this series is going to be. And of course, I've created a G7 trading roadmap. So all right, ladies and gentlemen, I took a loss today. That's only on one combine, and again, we're only trading with comfortable with losing, and that's what happened. So we took a 1RL and just walking back, bouncing back from this. I have some notes on my phone that I really want to review and analyze with you guys. So we're gonna do that right now, but after I'm done walking my dog, and then eventually I'll show you guys the trade for this LifeMaxing series. Because as soon as I woke up, I was questioning, you know, like, why do I feel the urge to like wake up and go take a trade as soon as market opens? And that's basically what happened today. As I woke up and I took a trade, market open. But I did answer these questions in the back of my mind that I was asking myself, like, subconsciously. The answers were coming to me naturally. But yeah, as soon as I woke up, I started asking myself these important questions. You know, I was just answering them, writing them down on my phone. Basically, the stuff that I was working on. And that's the funny thing about trading. Like, if you stop working on the most important thing, which is yourself, you will start to see, you know, yourself decline. And that's basically what's been happening with me. And I've been seeing my results, my performance decline, even though I've been studying more, I've been reviewing more, I've been analyzing, I've been doing this a lot more. When it comes down to the execution and managing these accounts and managing my mindset and just internal, you know, structure, that's the reason why everything's falling apart. Even though I've been reviewing more, doing this and that, you know, putting more screen time, it's not doing the, you know, the job. Because again, you can't just simply be staring at a screen and expect to be profitable. You have to work on yourself internally, and you have to work on yourself through that mindset and through it spiritually, you know, because again, trading is more than just trading, bro, I promise you. So be that version of you that is already there. Stop thinking about trying to make the payouts or pass the accounts. Be free, and don't worry about those things. Focus on your system and waiting for it to be presented to then eventually capitalize on the opportunity. Blue 5 funded accounts, max allocation, and you know, some of the, you know, most difficult times to trade. And now I'm just building myself back up, because again, that's what you have to do. You have to pick yourself back up after being knocked down on the ground, and that's what I'm doing. The moment you have attachment, you lose. What I mean by that is the moment you have attachment to thinking about the payout, or thinking about passing the account, or just even thinking about anything in terms of like trading wise with you know money coming in, that's when you lose. I promise you. Don't focus on the money. Don't even focus or have any sort of attachment to these accounts, you know, the P&L. Don't even focus on that. Don't worry about that. Let go. And that's what I'm currently dealing with. You know, I'm currently dealing with that. I'm trying to like learn how to let go of this attachment, of this ego. Because again, I've accomplished some payouts. I've passed, you know, some accounts. That's nothing compared to, you know, what my potential is, that the potential that God has given me, you know. So I'm just like really trying to humble myself. Don't have any sort of attachment. Don't even say that thing like, oh, we have FOMC this week, you know, like maybe we'll find a setup there. That's how you want to be. You want to be very disconnected from the results and disconnected from the attachment of certain results from certain days and weeks or of news events. I don't need to watch more videos about trading. I need to reflect inwardly and build those habits that allow me to grow into the person that has that lifestyle that I so desire. Here's the trade that we took. You can see we entered on the 1 minute time frame. That little wick market, boom, stops us out the next minute. But again, the overall direction is correct. Stop loss would have not been hit if we actually moved it up a little bit higher, and TP would have been hit. So we were aiming for a 1-2.8, but here you can see the stop loss would have been a 1-1.5, which again, it would have granted us a lot better of a risk reward. But if we waited for the 5 minute change in the state of delivery, and then like some sort of, you know, trade like this would have been just as of an easy trade to hit on YM. And I want to go over what's been happening recently. I basically blew all my, you know, Express accounts. I had multiple Express accounts, and losing those accounts was a blessing. I'm about to do my laundry, but I took some notes while I was meditating, and I think we have it. I think, of course, we're not going to be perfect. Of course, I'm not going to be, you know, the best trader in the world. Let me do better lighting. Of course, I'm not going to be the best trader in the world. I'm not going to tell you guys I'm going to be the best in the world, this and that. But what I do know is losing these accounts was by far one of the most growth experiences that I've occurred in a very long time. Putting a shirt on because I'm about to go buy my dog some food. But I also wanted to, you know, I'm about to do my laundry. I'm about to touch it up. But I want to honestly give you guys the notes that I took. So I meditated. Hey, you're going down the wrong path. Let me humble you. And that's what basically happened when I blew those 5 accounts. And I'm so glad that I got humbled really, really quickly, because again, imagine I'm on 20 accounts and I had these bad habits and I didn't have the right foundation, you know, and it led me down the wrong path. And that's the reason why I lost in the first place. Think about it. I was going down the wrong path. I wasn't doing the right things. I wasn't following my rules. I wasn't following my system as much. I wasn't having the right habits in place outside of trading. Of course, I would, you know, trade once, 1% risk, this and that, lock myself out, try to follow my system at times, but I was inconsistent. Why? Because again, outside the charts, my internal reflection wasn't there. I just wasn't internally growing. I wasn't building my character as a person, and that's where God humbled me, bro. And it reflected on the charts, and I'm so grateful for that moment, bro, because again, people will view this like blowing an account, you know, and the very next day your eyes are opened. My eyes are open, bro. My eyes are opened. I realize, you know, like it's warfare. It's mental warfare, but it's also spiritual warfare that we're currently dealing with in, you know, the prop firm space and in trading in general, because again, it's more to that, bro. It's more to that. I know a lot of people don't view it like that, you know, but to me, I view it more like that, because again, I view everything intertwines in this world. I realized I lost my foundation and was trying to replace it, when in reality I knew I knew it wasn't working long term. So in terms of foundation, I meant like my daily habits. What was I doing on a day-to-day basis? I was trying to reflect. I was trying to learn about my playbook. I was reviewing my playbook, reviewing my lesson logs, doing this and that, but I wasn't growing internally, and I was trying to replace my internal habits of reflection and growing and building my character with trading habits, when in reality that only led to my downfall. In reality, I should have been doing both, and that's what I plan on doing. It's never about learning more from trading, but rather from myself to reach the next level. Another thing, I was trying to learn more. I was trying to build that habit of, oh, I need to watch ICT's 2026 playlist, or I need to watch, you know, Romeo CRT, or I need to go watch GXT, or I need to go watch TT Trades, or I need to go watch, you know, Fabio Valentini, or this order flow, you know, person, you know, and I need to learn more, when in reality it's an internal reflection. You know, I was running away from the important habit of having that internal reflection to then eventually grow my character and build my character, but I was pushing it externally. I was trying to learn more from trading, trying to build my, you know, trading knowledge and this and that, but I already have a system. I already know what works. I've been there. I've built more, you know, I've added more, you know, throughout the times, and it just takes time. It takes time. Over time, you start learning more, you start incorporating more things, and it takes time. You can't just force it all in one go. What's more important than that is learning about yourself rather than learning more about the chart and trading, because again, after a certain point, you realize, you know, you see certain things and your eye gravitates to those certain things. That's next levels type stuff. So we needed to stay grounded to elevate, but the opposite happened. We had ego drive us into despair. So this is very, very crucial. You know, I needed to stay grounded in terms of like, hey, I need to be praying more, I need to be journaling more, not journaling my trades, but journaling how I'm feeling, what I'm thinking internally. You know, for the whole month of April, I never did that, and then for the whole month of March, I never really did that either. You know, I was really just trying to focus more on content, trying to focus more on trading, when in reality I needed to focus more on myself and growing and you know, developing my character. But that's what happens whenever you get to those payouts and your mind starts to get egotistical. You start thinking that you know it all, you figured it out, you don't need to do those important habits anymore. And that's what drove me into despair. Even though someone will experience this and view it as a curse, I view it as a blessing. There isn't room for growth in trading if you aren't growing internally with yourself. So that's the last one. And what I mean by that is, if you're not growing internally, your trading won't grow either. So if you want to grow in trading, you have to grow internally. You have to be building those key habits, and you have to be growing as a person and growing as a character. You know, like you have to be going to the gym, you have to be going, taking care of yourself, but also in the mental aspect. You know, like you have to build those certain habits that grow, you know, that help you grow spiritually, that help you grow mentally, and that help you grow physically. You have to, like, it's a realm, everything intertwines together, like I said before. And you have to really grow in every aspect of this. You know, same thing with your trading. You have to grow with trading, you have to grow with physically, you have to grow mentally, you have to grow spiritually, and you have to just grow in every aspect of life, and you have to intertwine it. You can't just like expect to grow in one and then the other one to come along. No, you have to grow in every single aspect. So when I was trying to grow in trading, I was actually, you know, pushing away the, you know, mental aspect and the spiritual aspect, and that's where my trading started to like fold down. You know, I started to lose it. And then these were some of the key habits that I plan on instilling here. I don't know if it's gonna focus. So key habits: meditation, prayer, journaling, and reading. Same thing with my trading habits, which is following my G7 trading system, reviewing my playbook and reviewing my lesson log, and my daily hindsight trade. I realize when I'm trying to learn more, I'm trying to do this and that, it just doesn't lead to, you know, the right, you know, things. Of course I can learn, I can do this and that, watch these playlists, but again, I already know how to trade, I already know how to do these things, and I just was trying to strive away from the growth internally, and I was trying to push it away. This might be the last what I show for the vlog, because again, today I probably will be my last day for this week to trade. I'm probably gonna take a break for Thursday and Friday, and then next week I won't be able to trade. Tuesday and Thursday I work those days early mornings, so I won't be able to trade during those days. So my game plan is to take a break for this week, and then I'm not even angry no more. It's just the fact that, like, why are you doing this to yourself? Why am I doing this to myself? Why am I taking bad trades? Why am I forcing trades? Why am I not being able to follow my system? Thinking that I need to buy more accounts to make more progression and get a payout, this and that, you know, like, why am I trying to rush the process and, you know, get there the wrong way instead of taking my time, getting there the right way, and just building the good habits, you know? But it's just frustrating, bro, because again, I had all that and then it's gone. It's gone, man. All because I wanted to have the wrong mindset and the wrong, just make the wrong actions, you know? I know I can get there back as soon as possible, you know, past evals and this and that, but it's like, what is my mindset? What are my habits? What am I doing, you know, like, incorrectly, to then eventually change that and fix it and become a better trader, you know? So it's really just that, and trying to prove it to myself again, you know? Like, I'm really trying to prove it to myself, because again, if I can't do this on one account, I can't, you know, if I can't build the good habits and have good habits instilled on one account, imagine like 15, you know? Like, I'm gonna be on a slump, I'm gonna be trading horribly. Okay, so it's still reflecting, bro, and I'm analyzing, you know, just thinking to myself, like, just taking a good look in the mirror, you know, just I'm ashamed of myself, honestly, for the habits, the decisions I'm making, you know, and on the charts, even off the charts, you know, it could be better, but when I'm on the charts, also just childish, man. It's childish.